All right, in this video, we are going to talk about the variable classes. These variable classes are used to change the value of the text in a label or entry. Well, that's some use, one of the uses for that. Also, for things like check button and radio button widgets, then you have to use these. All right, so the variable classes in tkinter are called string var, boolean var, double var, int var, right? String, double, int, boolean, all those should be familiar types to you. When you set up one of these objects, what happens is that it basically sits there and watches that variable, and if the variable changes, then the system gets notified. And so you can use that to do things in your graphical user interface program. To set up one of these variable classes, for instance, the string var, you would just call it like this, just create a string var object, right? And then to change what's in there, the value that's in that variable, in this case a string, you would use that variable dot set and then the value. And then to access what's in that variable, you would use dot get in order to do that. Okay. All right, so let's take a look at a simple example in this one. So this one is TK label entry change. All right, so here I am setting up a tkinter app, and here I create my string var. So my string var is this, and the way I have this import, it's you have to prepend with TK there. And then here I'm setting the value of the string var here. So I've got this string var set up. Right now, right, it's not connected at all with anything that I've got, any widgets that I've got in here. So here is the function that I'm going to be calling based on some events that get triggered in my application here. So next up I have the widget set up. So I've got a label, and I set that up in the normal way, but if I want to associate this label with that string variable, I have this optional parameter here, text variable equals, and then over here on the right side is the name of the var, the variable that you set up here to do that. And so what that does is it kind of binds those two things together. Whenever one changes, you're going to get notified here. And then I did the same thing with the entry as well. Okay. So I set up the entry and I bind it to this same string var again. All right, so they're bound. So the label and the entry are going to have the same text value on there. All right, and so then next up I put a button in there. In that button, what I do is I set it up, and here I set it up like I normally did, and here you can see I've got the command set up, and you'll notice something probably maybe that you haven't seen before, and that's lambda here. Lambda basically sets up a anonymous function. It's a function that has no name. It's not defined in the normal way that you would define like here. And the reason why I want to do this, right, is so anytime that you want to use command and you want to pass a value to that function that you're calling, you're going to have to set it up in this way, right? If I just try to do this, you can here just verify. Let's run it first, and you'll see what happens here, and then I'll show you. So here, right, what happens is that everything gets set up, right, and you can see I don't have the text equals here because I have it tied to these string vars here. So text variable equals string var. So right now the value of that string var is hello world, so that's why both the label and the widget have that text value in there. Okay. So now what's going to happen is that I am going to click on this button, and then that's going to call this pushed button method, and so it's going to go up here, and it's going to change the name or change the value of this string var to clicked. Okay, and So when it does that, all right, we'll see that this becomes clicked in here. All right, so when I click the button, both of those will be clicked. So what happens, I call this method, method changes the value of the string var. The label and the entry are both tied to that, and so they also change to be clicked. So I can use the string var to manipulate the text on labels and entries. Okay. All right, so now back to this here. Here what I'm doing is I want to pass a parameter in here. So if I try to just do this and then run it, you can see it's, let's see, let me start it again. So here I'm not changing anything. I'm not clicking the button at all, right? And you can see that it's already changed to clicked. This, when you don't put that lambda like that, what it does is it automatically calls this when you have a parameter here, okay? So I don't want that, right? You can see it doesn't say hello world. So in order to counteract that, when you have an argument that you want to pass to one of these methods that does the event handling, then you just create a lambda expression here, and then you can see it fixes that issue. So now it's hello world, and now when I click, then it changes to clicked. Okay. Okay. So so again, this string vars are really nice for controlling the text that's on labels and entries and changing them programmatically. Also, in this example, I showed you how to pass a parameter or an argument into one of these event handling functions here through the use of lambda. All right, so that's it, I think, for this. Let me double check. Yes, that's it on this one. So in the next video, we'll work through a larger example of all this stuff.